Hi, and welcome to Mendix 9 GA Launch Training. I'm Cheryl Koenigsberg, Head of Product Marketing, and today I've gotten a few of our experts together to talk about what's new in Mendix 9 and how to position it with your prospects and customers. As of March 31st, 2021, Mendix 9 is GA and available to download to the public with version 9.0.5. Let's get started. Back at Mendix World, you may remember our introducing the idea of Mendix being an all-in-one low-code platform. That is a platform that extends low-code to new technology domains like multi-experience, data integration, and intelligent automation. Well, today we'll talk about how Mendix 9 delivers on the next round of that vision. There are 5 key areas we'll take a look at today. The workflow editor for simplifying process digitalization, how we're delivering the best of breed mobile choice with both native mobile and PWA, Data Hub, which empowers developers to find and use the data they need for applications, Control Center, which is centralizing the visibility and security of applications across your landscape, and a quick features grab bag of a few other goodies that are in Mendix 9. When we talk about Mendix 9 and the value it brings to our customers, it's about empowering makers of all skill sets to solve new types of problems. Mendix 9 provides us a really competitive position against both OutSystems and Microsoft. If you look at OutSystems, their key message and value is about developer productivity. We're going beyond that by empowering developers to solve new types of problems, not just to solve the same problems faster, including things like data integration and workflow. If you compare us to Microsoft, Microsoft is offering a lot of capability, but that capability is only available through disparate development suites. Instead, we empower developers with a single low-code approach to all these different technology domains and a single platform designed for collaboration. Now I'll hand things over to Abel, who'll talk to us about the workflow editor.
Hello, my name is Abel Verweg, and I will talk about the workflow editor and the control center as the new capabilities within Mendix 9. Let's start with the problem. Just have a look at this image. This is somebody who is doing maintenance in a high-tech factory. Immediately, it becomes evident that this guy is doing an inspection, which is a task of a process that while he is in this high-tech factory, he's still conducting it on paper. And this is the process problem. It's not limited to just paper in a factory. It also has to do with approval flows or onboarding flows for customers. What the process problem is that these processes are not digitized. They might be consistent out of tasks based on paper, via phone, or a combination of having some data in an email, some data in an SAP ERP system, and then trying to connect them together with emails or meetings. They all have the same problem that you don't have visibility, it's not scalable, and you cannot deliver an experience to your customers and employees that allows you to be competitive. So why are hundreds of processes in organizations not digitized? Well, first of all, it's technically complex. To build a solution that covers multiple departments, multiple users, but also works on top of core data, which might be living in different systems, is difficult, right? This also means that making changes to it and making iterations is hard. And just think about last year, right? Processes might change. And the effect of this is that organizations run into this problem, which is called shadow IT, right? Basically, IT cannot deliver, other people within the organization are trying to fix it. But this brings me to the second point, which is firefighting and band-aids, because the problem of those solutions still ends up at the plate of IT, right? If that one crucial SharePoint solution breaks, or that one very important Excel file, where will people go? IT, of course. What this means is that you get a lot of different tech stacks within an organization. You don't have visibility on what's out there, and the logic and complexity is scattered around, right? So it's really, you're just firefighting here. That brings me to the third point, which is it comes from the fact that you don't have the right tools. With conventional tools, you're working too low level. You're spending a lot of time on integration, making logic, or building UIs, right? You'll need different skill sets, and it's hard. At the same time, it's also not accessible for the business because especially processes is where you need subject matter expert information. Somebody who is close to the process and knows how it should run. And what we see is that especially for a lightweight workflow application, uh, you don't have the capacity to build them and to digitize them. So what do organizations need? They need to quickly turn their business processes into applications, and with Mendix 9, our all-in-one local platform, we're making this possible. Currently, we're running a campaign already since January in which we use Mendix 9 and the workflow editor to show how intelligent automation is done. Intelligent automation is the goal and the possibility that we make possible for our customers or for our prospects as well, of course. Intelligent automation means you're not just digitizing the process one-on-one, but you're going beyond. You're taking away manual and repetitive tasks and you replace them by AI, by other capabilities. And we with our all-in-one local platform, even if you just want to make some workflow applications. So how do we do this? Well, we simplify technical complexities of workflow app development. We're doing three things there, but there's two I would like to highlight here. For the other ones, you can watch my sumo, which I gave last week, or the one before from September last year. First of all, we bring a dedicated workflow editor. In this editor, which is part of Mendix 9, you can drag and drop human and machine tasks, and you can show the long living process. The runtime is extended, and we're able to handle these kind of processes. Well, the first thing you might think is, hey, how is this different than from a microflow, right? We also have that to visually model a process. A microflow is executed in milliseconds. It's something that happens if you click a button. It is something in which you call an integration and you get something back and that's it, right? That's how you execute it. A workflow is a long living process. Think about it as a business process. And this is exactly where the opportunity lies with this new editor, is that we can speak a lot more to the business because you make it very feasible or visible how that business process really works. Another thing that we do with Mendix 9, which is new and brings a lot of value, is that we bring a lot of out-of-the-box functionality. Because we know how the workflow, how the business process will look like. We can really speed up development by providing you a task inbox, providing you pages on which you can show how the process is running and you can accept it. There's a dashboard and a process hospital where the process admin can see how many workflows are running, where they get stuck, and how they could improve them. So building a lightweight workflow application will go really, really fast. Then you might think, who cares about this? Well, first of all, we have the IT leader. They really need to decrease their time to value. That's often the reason why a lot of these processes are not digitized in the first place, right? It's too slow, it's too expensive. Well, we're taking all that away with Mendix 9 and the workflow editor. At the same time, you can also empower the business by letting them build applications or at least develop the process part with the workflow editor. Then finally, you can decrease your OPEX, your operational expenditures. With an all-in-one local platform, you don't need all those different technologies anymore, right? You can build mobile apps and workflow solutions and headless things, all from the same platform. Then we have the architects. They really would like to keep their core data clean, and they want to do that so badly that I even put it twice here on the screen. I see that. Next to that, they want to have a standard approach to process digitization. Because you use the workflow editor, you know how the process is defined in every app. That means you can move devs around, but that you're also sure that the process all work in the same way, but that you all can use the data later on to expose it in a dashboard or use it. And then if we go to the dev leader, this really speeds up development. right? If I look to the beta customers where we've been testing this, they say it takes them 2 hours instead of 2 days, right? Let's say it takes them 25% to build that process part of the application, where in Mendix 8 it would take a lot longer. It also really touches on the point of the miscommunication with the business. I, as a former Mendix developer, know how it is. Like, you go to somebody from the business and say, hey, just digitize the process, and then they don't know the process themselves. Well, with this tool, we make it very easy for them to do that and really benefit there. And finally, you can move your developers around, right? You know how a process is set up. It's easy to read, to understand, and your team can just pick it up. So what do we have for you? Well, we have a lot of resources. There is a demo kit around the intelligent automation campaign that we've been running since January. I have a separate sumo on it. You can watch it back. A lot of good Q&A happening there. We're continuing this campaign until Q3 of 2021. So there's 2 sumos also, one from last year, September, in which I talk about intelligent automation, another one from last week, in which I talk about the intelligent automation campaign. And then there's a lot of goods out here. I do a monthly demo, which are recorded, which you can reuse. There's blogs. We just launched an e-guide on process automation and how to select the right tool, in which we also differentiate versus BPMS and RPA. So I would say watch all that stuff and make it happen with workflow. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joe Carroll, and I'm here to give a little bit of a refresher of what's new in Mendix 9 with mobile technologies and the ability for us to deliver best-of-breed mobile choice. So first and foremost, just a little bit of refresher to all of the content that we recorded around Mendix World and post Mendix 9 when we announced, post Mendix World when we announced Mendix 9. There are kind of 2 big rocks in Mendix 9 associated with mobile to tell a high-level story. Okay, the first one is Native Mobile 2.0. This is a revamp and the next level of our native mobile support. It is a packaging of a ton of really high-value capabilities in terms of increasing developer productivity in delivering native mobile solutions, things like a NanoFlow debugger, a solution that makes it really easy to package and publish native mobile solutions to the store with a series of clicks in Studio Pro. It's really kind of fantastic work in terms of the leveling up and continuing to improve our sort of cutting edge native mobile support and low code. In addition to native mobile, there is PWA, and PWA, it stands for Progressive Web Applications, and with Mendix 9, we now support them. And this is a big deal because PWA is a latest, greatest, leading technology and best of breed technology in terms of delivering mobile solutions in the market. So taking a step back, looking at kind of the different types of mobile technologies in the market, there are 4 leading technologies: native mobile, hybrid mobile, PWA, and responsive web apps. And generally speaking, within these 4 technologies, there are 2 categories. The ones on the left are what we would call App Store-based applications. In order to use a native mobile app or a hybrid mobile app, you have to go to the Google Play Store or the iOS Store to download your application. So that's App Store based. The other types of mobile apps over here on the right are browser based mobile solutions, where you access these from your web browser, either Safari or Chrome on your phone. And so within those 2 categories, there are really 2 leading technologies in terms of the user experience that they provide to the end users, and kind of where sort of the mobile community is going in terms of trends and forces. The first one is native mobile. Okay, in App Store-based solution, this is the leading technology, and in browser-based solution, that's PWA. And so we'll talk more about best of breed later on. So so when our buyers look at this, how do they think about mobile development? What are their problems? How are we solving them? What's the value of Mendix in mobile development? And then ultimately, we'll talk about how we do it better. So talking about the buyer specifically, let's start with the functional buyer, okay, the professional developer. This person is influential in our deals. They're frequently not a decision maker, but they're very important in terms of particularly in competitive deals, but also in terms of executing on delivery of mobile solutions. So what is their view on mobile and mobile solution delivery. Okay, the first one is that in order the first thing that the problem that the developers have is that in order to deliver on mobile solutions, it requires a wide range of technical skills, and most developers do not have these. And so what that means is they can't always leverage the best technologies and architectures in building their solutions. And developers love working with latest, greatest. They want to work with React Native and PWA as sort of best of breed technologies. But because of their skill set, they may not be able to. And that's frustrating for them. They love working on the cutting edge stuff. No developer wants to work on old technology. And last but not least, in delivering all of these different types of solutions, there's a lack of code portability. What I mean by that is when you build a solution that's a browser-based solution, and then you need to go build an App Store-based solution, the developer will have to start from scratch in all the functionality that they build. And so there's a lack of code portability across all these different channels, and professional developers really feel that in that they spend their time solving the same problems over and over again. So what Mendix is going to do for them is we're going to open the doors to mobile. We're going to allow developers to expand their skill set and build mobile solutions. Additionally, we're going to allow them to leverage the best of breed technologies. That hot tech, the native mobiles and PWAs of the world, is going to be what developers get to use when working with Mendix. And last but not least, we're going to cut down on a ton of that reuse work, or a ton of that rework that they have with reuse across multiple applications and high maximum modularity of different components in different channels. In addition to developers, the maybe more important buyer in terms of decision making is a development leader. Okay, they feel that pain of the developer, but as a sort of a people manager and looking at sort of their team and organization wide of what their developers are able to deliver. So what they see is that they're unable to build development teams with the specialized skills necessary to deliver mobile solutions. They have a talent problem because, as I said, developers don't have the specialized skills and development leaders have trouble finding them and staffing them. And when they do have those specialized developers, they create bottlenecks. So there'll be maybe one person who knows how to do this in the development organization, and then the entire backlog of mobile features gets piled up behind them. And so what development leaders experience and the pain that they have is that their backlog of mobile features and functionality and just general development functionality is just piling up and ever increasing, and they can't seem to get their mobile solutions out the door, which is fundamentally what their job is as the leader of the development organization. So what are we going to do for them? We're going to, again, lower the barrier to entry for mobile development. We're going to allow the developers they have in-house now and perhaps expand what they can, who can be a developer at their organization to do mobile development. We're also going to reduce the bottlenecks in resourcing. By allowing more people to do development, you're able to get through that backlog faster and deliver better software faster and better mobile solutions faster into market, which is ultimately how the development leader is measured. At the highest level of the organization, the CIO has a slightly different view on this problem, okay? They feel more of the trends and forces of market pressure to deliver mobile solutions as part of digital transformation. They see an ever increasing need from their customers and end users or business stakeholders for the best digital experiences possible and the best mobile experiences possible. And the CIO is very aware that currently with traditional development, their mobile experiences are subpar, okay? And even so, with the subpar mobile experiences they have, the development costs that they're investing in those subpar experiences are not lining up with the output. So when they look at the profit and loss column of their mobile investments in terms of development, it doesn't look pretty for them, yet they still hear the need for more mobile solutions from the business and from the users. So what is the solution for CIOs? Well, Mendix is going to allow them to get faster time to market, but particularly with these mobile solutions. We're going to also allow them to use best of breed architectures when they do so, so that the mobile experience for the customers is beautiful and smart and intuitive when it comes out of the other side and isn't subpar like it is today. And ultimately, we're going to reduce development costs. We're allowing this to do this faster with different types of developers, and ultimately make that investment into mobile development profitable for their business. So taking a step back, away from the personas and more towards the product, what does Mendix do to improve mobile development? First, we reduce development costs. Second, we increase code portability across different channels of mobile solutions to cut down on rework and development processes. And then we deliver best of breed mobile solutions with the best technologies, the best architectures, and the best experiences for the end users. So how do we accomplish that? First and foremost, Mendix reduces development costs. The biggest way that we reduce development costs is by bringing a low-code approach to mobile development. Low-code development is at least 5 times faster than traditional development, but it's also more than that. With Mendix, there's a single skill set in terms of building all those different types of mobile solutions, and that skill set is approachable for developers of any skill, right? So more people can do development, mobile development, and more people can work with those best of breed technologies like PWA and native mobile. In addition, Mendix provides maximum code portability within the Mendix project. So regardless of the channel that you are building, whether it's PWA native or web application, right, the core functionality of microflows and nanoflows, the logic of the application is shared across all these different things. So you write the logic once and you can reuse it everywhere. Additionally, this is important to emphasize for both PWA and native mobile, they share functionality. And this is almost unique in the market and definitely in terms of the low code market, what we have here. Additionally, brand things like look and feel and the Atlas UI styling components can be used across all these different channels. So you build the consistent look and feel once and reuse the widgets however you need to. Reuse the framework however you need to, sorry, not the widgets. And last but not least, these Mendix Mendix supports third-party React Native widgets for both iOS and Android. And so there are thousands and thousands of pre-built widgets out there on the market, which are a ton of solved problems that developers get access to. So this massive native mobile community, they can go out and find a widget or something that's unique that they want to use within their application and just pull it in and work natively within their Mendix project. So with code portability and reducing development costs, with Mendix, you get best of breed technologies. So it's not just you're doing that, you're getting reuse and code reducing costs, but you're also delivering the best experiences for your users, regardless of whether that's App Store based or browser based, which are both sort of the leading technologies in their domains in mobile solutions. They're the best of breed. So we talked about who has the problem, we talked about how we solve the problem, but how do we solve it better? Okay, and the way that we solve it better is related to hybrid. And if you're looking for information on competitive and weaponizing competitive for mobile, I highly recommend the hour-long sumo session that Dave Brault gave in the fall. So to start, what is our competitive story against hybrid? Okay, the direct competitor to hybrid mobile is React Native. Okay, in App Store-based solutions. React Native has a community that is 10 times the size of the hybrid community. This is according to GitHub activity, okay? What that means is, generally speaking, on the market, there are going to be 10 times the number of developers who know React Native compared to hybrid. There are going to be 10 times the number of bug fixes, enhancements, and community resources done to the React Native projects, okay? And so React Native is really killing hybrid in terms of community support and where the momentum is going and where developers want to work. So in addition to just the size of the community, React Native is also the most loved mobile development framework by developers. That's according to Stack Overflow. And hybrid happens to be the most dreaded mobile development framework by developers. So in addition to the community size, if you're comparing these technologies in terms of what developers want to work on and therefore the success of the project, React Native is clearly superior. And last but not least, PhoneGap, the foundational technology of hybrid mobile, has been deprecated by Adobe. And so depending on who you ask, hybrid is either dead or dying. I would not tell a customer who has a bunch of hybrid apps that it's dead, but it is where the wind is going and where the market is swinging in terms of technology. And so why does that matter in new logo deals? Well, it matters particularly against OutSystems as well as other competitors. But OutSystems does not have native mobile solution. They have responsive, progressive web apps, and they have hybrid apps as their App Store-based solution. And so what they falsely claim about this incomplete set of technologies is that hybrid is just as good as native, and PWA is the future of this, and that's a mobile technology, and that's sort of sufficient compared to React Native. So the way that we attack their claim is that native is far superior. both in terms of like community support and technology, like I showed on the previous slide, right? But also that the user experience of native mobile solutions is just far superior to that of hybrid. Okay, if you do a side-by-side comparison, there is no contest, and we should encourage that if that's the competition that they want to have. Additionally, if PWA is the future of mobile technologies, well, Mendix PWA ranking is higher according to Gartner. So how do we do it better? Well, React Native is how we do it better. We offer best of breed mobile technologies. So we offer the full suite here, and we offer React Native and PWA, which are the best in class solutions where OutSystems does not have React Native. And then we maximize reuse across all of those different channels. So it's not, we maximize, yeah, I mean, as we talked about in terms of code reusability and that sort of thing. Generally speaking, OutSystems will use the term reactive apps. This is not React Native, and if they're misleading your customers, you should call them out on it and trap them with that. They will also claim the maximum reuse, but remember they're reusing the bad stuff, that hybrid mobile stuff. You don't want to be reusing that. So it's not just us saying this, by the way. Gartner says this, and so if you look at the key comparison between us in terms of mobile technologies, Mendix leads OutSystems in these two key areas. So additional resources for you to look at and to skill up on this stuff. If you want the full deep dive on mobile, I highly recommend this Weaponizing Mobile Sumo from the fall. It's some of the best mobile compete stuff that we've ever made. And then in addition to that, there's a mobile double click deck, which has supporting slides to take your buyer through this journey that I just took you through in maybe with trap questions and discovery and that sort of thing around their mobile technologies. And then there's Gartner research, other supporting content, as well as hybrid FUB. So with that, I will pass it off to Data Hub.
Okay, I will give you a quick update on what's new with Data Hub in Mendix 9. So we released Data Hub last year as a separate product last year in October, but obviously since it is deeply integrated into the Studio Pro and Studio, with Mendix 9, you will also get new capabilities when using Data Hub. So just a very short summary of the key features and capabilities of Data Hub. So Data Hub really helps you to understand what data is available in your applications through Mendix applications, to find it, to understand it. But once you use it, the deep integration in the studios also helps you to quickly benefit from the data that you found. So you can simply search for the same data in the catalog from your Studio Pro environment, then drag and drop the data, the entities into your projects and start using that by connecting them to your pages and to your microflows. And all the connectivity will be handled for you under the hood by the Mendix runtime. So with Mendix 9, you get a even better performing runtime, so you will also see a benefit when using Data Hub. Data Hub also will tell you what applications are using what data from other applications, so you can manage and observe the dependencies and also do an impact assessment, for example, when you intend to make changes to your landscape. So these are the three key elements that Data Hub offers through a standalone catalog, but mostly through a deep integration into Mendix 9 and the whole cloud platform of Mendix. So who is benefiting from all of this? So since we've released this, we have 15 actual customers, production customers that are using this, and we see three main types of applications or solutions that they're building. So one is where people have been really successful with Mendix, but so successful that they've built large monoliths. And to ensure productivity and speed and agility, they have a desire to break up this large monolith into smaller pieces. So that's something that they use Data Hub for, and Data Hub enables them to easily exchange data between the parts. So really important, really ensures that you can get the agility and the productivity that you want out of a low-code platform, but for larger systems. On the other hand, we also see people building large landscapes of smaller Mendix apps easily connected to each other to Data Hub. So more or less the same thing, but bit of thinking up front, how do we keep it small and manageable, and how do we connect the different Mendix apps together? Another one that we heard about from a customer is that Data Hub actually enables them to build things they couldn't build before, like a customer portal on legacy data. So Data Hub really helps them to take control of using data in legacy systems, and then taking that data out and then providing it to the Mendix applications in such a way that it's a lot easier and more productive to build. So they're now building customer portals that they couldn't build before. So these are actual customers being successful with Data Hub. So that's a really important takeaway, I think, from this sumo, is that with Data Hub you can already do a lot of things that you can benefit from. So quick summary of the key differentiators we see that Data Hub has compared to other integration solutions. So one thing is that just like with the Mendix app platform, our focus is on the complete process of the end-to-end process of creating data, publishing the data, discovering the data, and then using the data as a developer. It's not a tool that's only focused on integration, on making connections between applications, or just on code generation. No, our aim is to help you speed up the entire process from start to end and simplify it. So that's one key differentiator. Another one is that the tooling we provide with external entities and the catalog should enable you to build any kind of app that you can build with Mendix. So whether it's a web application, a mobile application, a dashboard, or a reporting app, if you want to use external data in that app, external entities can help you do that faster and simpler. So any type of use case that you have, our goal is to help you speed up building that with external entities and Data Hub. And that means that we've integrated into all the components of the Mendix platform. So it's integrated into the deployment pipeline in the cloud. It's integrated in the cloud. It's integrated in Studio Pro. So you can benefit from Data Hub in all the parts of the Mendix platform. So these are the three key three key differentiators we see that resonate with our customers. So yeah, there's a large number of resources that you can use when you want to talk to customers about this, when you want to sell this. Number one to remember is that there's a team that's here to help you do presentations, help you do demos. You can reach out to the team. Please do if you want assistance. Please do if you want product management to be involved in discussions with customers, also on new capabilities that they may be asking for. So we're here to help you. There's some really excellent first strike decks that you can use when talking to customers, when explaining Data Hub. We have a full demo kit that you can use to do demos, a very extensive FAQ with lots of questions and answers. And again, I'll stress the team again. Please reach out to the team if you need assistance. We're here to help you. So that's Data Hub in a nutshell for you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. And now we're going to move on to the control center. When you look at the application landscape throughout of the lens of internal IT or the architect, this is what you see. It's a bunch of chaotic wires. Out there are applications. Of some, you don't know what's going to happen if you're pulling out the wire, your users, the cost that you are incurring. A lot of organizations don't really know what's out there, right? It's one of the big problems that we're after with shadow IT, for example. What the conclusion of this problem is that IT needs more central overview, insight, and controls. First of all, having an application landscape with which looks like all of the kind of wires creates a lot of risk. If an SharePoint application that is super mission critical falls down, your whole organization starts to tumble, right? Same of all, it creates barriers. Imagine that your application landscape does look like this, but you want to add another 50 applications to it. Does that look and feel like a good idea to you? This really creates barriers for organizations to scale and build multiple applications, add to it. And then finally, there's costs. What if something breaks down? You need to figure out who has the rights to do something. You want to optimize maintenance and improve your work that you're doing as an organization. Well, having a lack of overview and control doesn't really help with that. And a lot of organizations incur costs due to it. And the same is true for the Mendix landscape. If you look to the Mendix application landscape at structure and skill customers, we see that currently with Mendix, we're adding a lot of new features to it. Think, for example, about Data Hub, but also the platform itself. Everywhere you have this admin kind of role, but it's dispersed throughout the platform. That's the solution that we're bringing with Control Center. With the Control Center, we deliver insight, overview, and control over the Mendix application landscape within an organization. No more the bunch of wires, but the ability to actually pinpoint the problem, see what's out there, plan your maintenance. This is the thing that we're bringing. Then how does this work? With the Control Center, we bring visibility and security across the Mendix landscape. And the thing that is already live right now, and that's also being tested with some beta customers, is first of all, the centralized administration across users, applications, and resources. Know what apps are out there. Know what users are out there, or what kind of users within your organization just created a Mendix account. Also, manage groups, powerful, granular, rule-based security for users, but also for groups to make it a lot easier to give access and rights in the right projects. And then there's also the audit trails to have visibility. And also the possibility to see where you are in your license. How many have you already used, spent, what's left out there. So we're bringing this all out there in the form of the Control Center with the Mendix admin. The person that within Mendix might probably be within internal IT, but somebody that has the overview and is in control to help you out when something is breaking down within this bunch of wires. So who cares about this? Well, besides internal IT and the Mendix admin, of course, the IT leader, the IT director. What we're also helping is giving an insight in the portfolio of what is being built, so you can communicate the value, get a portfolio, because you see what projects are started and what users are joining the platform. And finally, decrease the OPEX, because you can plan maintenance more easy. You know which applications are running in which version. And you also know when you need to scale up and scale down with your cloud containers. Then the architect. The nightmare of not knowing what's out there. Shadow IT, remember that? We fixed that. Then we also help with standardizing app development. This might be a little bit more of a vision, but with creating such a tool and a center enabling you, a dev leader, to run a center of excellence, we also will standardize more in the app development. And finally, you can mitigate risks. Then the dev leader, again, the center of excellence, but also make it easier to plan maintenance. Also see your developers that are out there. How far are they in their Mendix journey? Are they certified as an expert or not? And then finally, when shit's hit the fan, you can control it, right? You can go to the right project quickly and easily and shut it down when needed. So what kind of resources do we have for you? We have a blog on the Control Center. Also, it includes a video in which you might get some more information. Then we have the docs in which you can use it, and the evaluation guide is coming. Other than that, reach out to me or Melvin Grootboers if you have any questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Abel. Between Workflow Editor, all of the mobile capabilities, Data Hub, and Control Center, there certainly is a lot in Mendix 9 that's providing value to our customers. Before we wrap up, let's talk about a few more features that are included in this release. Mendix developers have eagerly adopted AI-assisted development for their microflow creation, and we've introduced our second AI bot, this one designed to improve application performance. Not only does the bot identify known anti-patterns in models, like committing a variable each time a loop executes rather than at the end, a development sin I'm certainly guilty of myself, but it also recommends fixes and even offers to refactor models to conform to best practices. Not only is this great for novice citizen developers, but it will also ensure our more senior developers' sophisticated models are properly designed. As development teams get bigger within our customers, managing different branches of a large project can be a complex task. With visual conflict resolution, experienced developers can easily see differences between branches down to the entity or attribute level, and then choose the value they'd like to keep. When competing against some of the newer entrants in the low-code market or the ones who rely on packaged capabilities, this is a great differentiator to bring out. Atlas, our UI framework, got a beautiful upgrade to 3.0. With all new widgets, templates, and layouts, the default design language is sure to impress even the most discerning designers. Plus, it's easy to customize and reuse across an organization. The developer experience through the portal got a facelift as well. With a new navigation, global search bar, and updated look and feel, our developers will know that Mendix is a reliable and modern company. We've also made the flow for creating a new app smoother, showcasing our templates more prominently to help people get started. Finally, a few items that are coming soon. First, Git support. We know this is eagerly awaited by our customers. By the end of June, we'll have Git for Teams Server with other geos to follow. Meanwhile, Bring Your Own Git is currently in beta, starting today with Mendix 9. Developers will see iterative improvements to the look and feel of the IDE for the rest of 2021, aligning with the improvements we just saw in the developer portal and the expectations that today's developers have. Finally, the UI kit will enable designers to use Figma or Sketch, their usual tools to design Mendix applications. Finally, some resources to point you to. You can find Mendix 9 in Marketplace and the demo kit in our internal app gallery. On Mendix.com, the features have been added across the website, but in particular, you can send customers to the demos page for several use case demos that include Workflow, Data Hub, and other key features. Johan also has a blog announcing the release. On HighSpot, you can find customer-facing slides for these new features, along with longer, more detailed decks on a few of the key areas we talked about. And stay tuned, we're updating the first strike and differentiation decks with new Mendix 9 GIFs and videos shortly. Thank you for joining us for today's session, and good selling to all.